Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and our next guest is the founder of Share for Life. Joins us with a look at their work in the community. They do a lot of fantastic work. We've done our research. We found out all about you. We welcome Janine Saulsbury to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello. Hi. Thank you again. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, just share with our audience about this special work that you're doing in our community.
The Share for Life Foundation is a nonprofit 501c3 organization that I founded in 2002.
Yeah.
What we do is create educational programs and videos to help empower people that live below poverty level in New York City. This is our 18th year anniversary, and we work really close with the residents of New York City Housing Authority.
Oh, great. All right.
Yeah, in all 5 boroughs in New York City. And we've worked in approximately 100 community centers in New York City over the past 18 years.
Look at that. Have you been to Jacob Reese Community Center?
Jacob Reese?
Uh-oh, look at
that. I have, and I've heard so many great things from you from Miss April Simpson. She says you're like her brother.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and she's been trying to connect us for some years now, so I have to tell her about this today.
All right, look at that. That's a wonderful connection right there.
We've been working in Jacob Reese for about 5 years now with different programs. We've had youth film and media programs where the young people create their own short films. We recently just had a voters registration, census, and mask giveaway for the residents about a couple of weeks ago.
All right. So when are you doing it again? Maybe we can come out and join you.
Well, we have an initiative called Mask for New York City Housing Authority Residents that we started back in March, and we are doing it like every 2 weeks. We have these different pop-up events. So the next event we're going to have is at Ravenswood Houses.
That's right next door. Yeah. See, I was the DJ. I was a neighborhood DJ. So Astoria came down, Ravenswood came down, Woodside, and of course Queensbridge. And we used to go right down to the park and play that music.
Oh man, and they have the big Father's Day event that they do each year at Queensbridge, so I usually hang out there. So
there you go.
The residents.
All right. So tell us about your masks and NYCHA program. You go all over some of the places, of course, Queensbridge and where?
Well, since COVID, I was just spending some time asking God, how can you use me in this, you know, to help people and to serve humanity? And the thought came up to provide masks for residents of New York City Housing Authority. And there's approximately 500,000 residents that live in New York City Housing Authority. And I'm like, God, how am I going to do that? You know, this is kind of like, I don't know how, but stepping out of faith and believing God, I put together like a proposal of what this will look like. And the next day I saw Governor Cuomo had an initiative for 500,000 masks for NYCHA. The very next day that I put it in the universe. So I called like some colleagues and they introduced me to someone in Governor Cuomo's office and we connected together. And through Governor Cuomo's mask, I helped in distributing the masks throughout the entire Queens area. So that was awesome. Yep. And then on top of that, it's just happened blessing after blessing. A friend of mine who is a ambassador for Share for Life by the name of God Shamgod. He's a former basketball player from Harlem, and I'm from Harlem, so he supports my organization. He introduced us to Puma, who he has a deal with, and they donated another 2,000 masks to the organization. So we've been getting more masks to give away, and we also got a sponsor from Ravenswood Generating Station that's near Queensbridge, and they donated to the organization to give away masks in that area that they're located. So it's just been blessing after blessing. So we're going to continue this throughout the year to give masks out because, as you know, the coronavirus is not going anywhere. You know, it's here.
Yeah, it seems like unfortunately it's going to be with us for a while. You're going to be doing that with the masks. What other things have you been doing before the pandemic?
Well, after the mask, I still was like, God, I want to do more, you know, use me, God. So then I came up with another idea to start a feeding program after watching the news and seeing how many people are in need of food and how many pantries are running out of food due to COVID. So I'm like, okay, I've never done this before, how to? And
so you got a few programs you're working on, all right.
A few. So as soon as I put it out into the universe, again, another miracle. A friend of mine who works at an organization, her name is Priscilla Willis. She works at an organization called Drive Change that provides young people who have any type of involvement with the criminal justice system. They provide them an internship. Excuse me. They provide them
great.
a fellowship to become part of in the coronary field. So they have a lot of food sponsors. So when I told her about this food program, she said, oh my goodness, we've been trying to get this program that we're doing at Marcy Houses because they're right across the street from Marcy. Yeah. I'm like, oh, wow, that's easy. Let me call the president of Marcy, because one thing Share for Life does, we have a lot of connections with the resident association presidents. We're deeply rooted in the community. And the resident association presidents, as you know, they're the pulse of the community. They know everything that's going on. So I called the resident association president, Ms. Cologne at Marcy Houses, and she was super excited, like, yes, we want this program. I always wanted to start a pantry, and we talked about starting it. Unfortunately, when we were starting the pantry at Marcy Houses, the president called and said, we have to push this back because there's so much violence going on in the community right now. That there's gun violence. She said there's gang violence between Tompkin Houses and Marcy Houses. You don't know in the middle of the day if the firecrackers going off, if they're firecrackers or gunshots. And she said it's just not safe.
They're a little bit of both, yeah.
And it really hurt my heart for so many reasons. Number one, because we know the people who are joining the gangs are Black and brown, young teenagers, and they're killing each other, and the Black on Black crime is increasing, as we have been seeing all over the news. And then what about the residents that live in the community, the senior citizens, the kids that have to live through this? And it was just so sad, and I just was asking God, and I cried for some time, and just asking, what can I do? So now I'm starting a youth program. The Youth Council and Youth Committee is a new program that we're looking to start, and we're looking to do a youth town hall also that I'm going to be launching soon. So I would love to share with you more information about that as well.
So you're going to be launching it. When is it going to launch?
Well, I'm hoping to launch early next week. However, the feeding program did launch 2 weeks ago, and we had to replace Marcy Houses, but we replaced it with Grant Houses, St. Nicholas Houses, and Edenwald Houses. So we had one of our sponsors, Frontline Foods, that we received from Drive Change. They provided us with 200 bags of groceries for Edenwald, 100 bags of groceries for Grant Houses, and 150 bags of boxes of produce for St. Nicholas Houses 2 weeks ago. And then on top of that, I get another call from a friend and said, hey, I have another sponsor who's looking to deliver hot food. And I'm like, really? So they have an initiative that now Share for Life is part of our feeding program. And it's an 8-week program to provide 600 hot meals a week to 3 different resident association presidents, different housing developments for 8 weeks. Now to date, we've delivered, actually tomorrow it will be about 3,000 meals that we've provided over the last 2 weeks.
Well, you got some wonderful programs. God's in your ear, huh?
Oh, it's just a blessing. I'm just happy that God is using me. So I want to continue to be a light, and that's what I pray for. So
God's conduit.
Yes, it's definitely a blessing. So.
Well, thank you for all that you're doing, and keep us abreast of what's going on, and perhaps we can come out and join you.
I would love that. I certainly would, because, I didn't start off always having as much faith, and, as a teenager growing up in Harlem, my life was much different. So these programs and initiatives mean so much to me, and it's definitely a fulfilling feeling to be able to be used to help other people.
Oh, thank you for all your work. We really appreciate your service.
Thank you.
So where can we go to get more information?
Oh, please go to Share for Life's website, which is www.shareforlife.org. That's ShareForLife.org.
Share for Life, the founder and executive director. Yes, Janine Saulsbury. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon.
I look forward to it.
Stay on, and I'll give you my information where we can link up in the community. And when you see April, tell her I said hello.
I will. I will. Thank you again for this
You're welcome.
opportunity.
Thanks for coming on. All right. We'll take a break, come back with some more next on Open